Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, Husker Wrestling released their schedule for the upcoming season. It features 11 of the top 25 finishers from last season's NCAA championships. The non-conference is highlighted by home duels against North Carolina and Oklahoma State. The conference slate features home duels with Iowa and Ohio State, and a road duel at Penn State. For the rest of the schedule and more information, visit Huskers.com. In other Husker news, Nebraska soccer fell to Iowa 1-0 yesterday. The Big Red were held to a season-low 2 shots on goal. They will be back in action Sunday afternoon at Northwestern. And finally, Week 4 of the NFL season wraps up tonight with 2 games. They're just about to start in Miami, where the Dolphins host the Jets. That can be watched on ESPN. And later tonight at 7:15, the Broncos host the Bengals on ABC. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 wide each way. Underwood out of the gun. Marshall, the running back right. Takes the wayside snap. 4-man twisting rush. Underwood under pressure. Ball's loose. It's picked up. Deshaun Singleton was in the area. Beanbags on the turf. They stripped it. Black shirts get it done and get the takeaway. Snap to Raiola. Rolls right. Looks downfield to the numbers. Raiola plants. Launches. Far right side of the end zone. Jump ball. Was it caught? Was it caught?
Unreal.
Touchdown! Huskers! Jakari Barney on a prayer! 52 yards!
Line drive serve is in. Pass by Harper. Set middle. Rebecca for the match. She got it! Call the grand kick. Nebraska wins another in 5 over Creighton. The Big Red remains perfect. 9-0 in 2025.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Hope everyone enjoyed their bye weekend. Lots of great college football games on. It was fun to watch, but if for some of us in the picks segment, not as fun to the outcome of that, but it was a fun weekend. Did you move at all from the couch? Or
No.
What was, no, you didn't.
The quick answer to that is no.
So
yes.
do you have like food delivered then in that case, or like what?
So what's good is I have a market right across the street from where I live, so I barely even like have to put shoes on to walk to get whatever I need, whatever sustenance I need for that day of games. But between college football and the NFL, it was, and even on Friday night there were some good college games.
Yeah.
72 hours of just rotting and watching football and working ahead to this week. So I'll tell you what, we talk about these picks, and they're starting to haunt me because I'm getting worse and worse by the week. And we've mentioned that I've quit multiple times on our pick segment because I've just been so bad. And this week we were all bad. I haven't looked at, but the most
Josh
of us,
wasn't.
Yeah, Josh was good. Josh has had a complete turnaround, which gives me hope.
Josh is pretty inconsistent. He's either winning or he's losing.
I'll tell you what, I'm consistent.
You're
losing.
consistently losing.
I'm a consistent loser. And this would put the C, and I was telling Josh today, I had 3 picks where they had double-digit leads, like 2 or 3 possession leads, gone.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe. I think it speaks more, and Coach Rhule said this today, and we'll hear from him a little bit later. The parity in college football now is a lot different than what it used to be. Like, it should not be this hard to pick head-to-head. If we were picking spreads, I can understand some of these records, but we're picking head-to-head and losing a lot of these games.
Well, and some of them are not even like toss-up games either. There's some that are the spread is
crazy,
a full touchdown, and we're still
which I guess is good.
bad at.
It's good for the game.
It makes it fun to watch, I guess. So, as of right now, who would you say is the best team in college football?
I would probably give the nod to Ohio State. I think it's toss-up between Ohio State and Oregon. What Oregon did, I mean, that was, a 3-3 game going into half. Oregon and Penn State, a lot is made of the whiteout, and can Penn State finally win a big game? There it is, their opportunity, a team coming from the West Coast to experience that, and credit Dan Lanning, he's made Oregon into this superpower, and I think Dante Moore is a quarterback. We think Dylan doesn't get talked about enough, but Dante Moore started his career at UCLA, one of the higher quarterback recruits, and what he was able to do in that game, what turned out to be a shootout in the second half, and Oregon's defense comes up with a big play with the interception. But I think it's 1 and 1A probably, Ohio State and Oregon. And again, we want to talk about Big Ten against SEC. Well, 1 and 1A are both Big Ten teams. And boy, I talk about parity. Alabama's one of those teams that was a 6-7 point underdog, and they go on the road, they hop out right away. I mean, it looks like they're going to run away with this thing, but that's never going to happen between the hedges. But their ability to then sort of keep everything in check and find a way to gut that out in the second half on the road at Georgia, who probably should have 2 losses already this year after they got past Tennessee somehow. It's a crazy weekend.
Yeah, 402-413-2400 is the number if you want to be a part of the show. Give Kyle a hard time about his picks again. We'll recap, and even Searles texted. He's finally back on the grid, and once he got the standings and the overall picks, he said, boy, that was bad. He had a bad week as well. So Searles will be back this week. He's actually we're not going to be able to record the sideline slice tomorrow. I think we'll have to wait till Wednesday, but we'll hear from Searles a couple different times, and believe he's back on Big Red Reaction this week.
Yes,
he
should be.
is. Yeah, he is.
So here's Shane had a good point in the chat, because I was keeping track. This is the first week we didn't have a game. I was really locked into my picks, and I started 0-5, and I was just like, I don't know where these. I need to get on a run here. Even like Texas A&M, Auburn made a run to make that close. And like, man, if I don't win this game, I don't know. And then Georgia loses. I think we all had Georgia. So it's like if somebody picked Alabama, maybe it'd be different. But there's some of these games where it's like, and we didn't even have Florida State, Virginia on our picks. And Florida State, how different is college football now in the narrative? Florida State against Alabama. Alabama lays an egg. Florida State all of a sudden is this team that is much better than what we thought. A few weeks later, Florida State goes on the road against Virginia and lays an egg, and then Alabama goes on the road to beat Georgia. Like, none of this makes sense. And the NFL, I think, is the same way, if anybody watched some of those games yesterday. I
think at this point, this has been the most like, okay, what is that college football field going to look like? I think in years past, and of course, the expanding, I know like with the 4, there might be one that you're like, okay, who's going to get that 4 spot? But right now, there's so many different teams that still have a shot at it, that teams that have losses that maybe you didn't think they were going to have, that it just is, it's wild right now where it is. And you talked about the parity. I mean, it's still a lot of unknown and a lot of excitement to come on how this thing is going to get narrowed down to who's going to be in that field.
And you know who that's good for? Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because it makes that Michigan loss, and Coach Rhule said it today. Like, look at a team like Illinois. They lost 63-10 last week, and they came back and they beat. I think you had Illinois. A few of us had USC. That was another game that just was ripping my hair out because they just couldn't seem to get in a rhythm. And then Illinois always had a right hook in response to what USC was doing. But for Illinois to come back, win that game, a high-scoring game against USC at home after giving up 63 points the week previous. We mentioned Alabama, how it seems like they're a much different team just a few weeks later. So it's a week-to-week thing. We could be down on Nebraska. Hey, a few plays here or there. We should have beat Michigan. We had the opportunity. We had the stage. We had CBS here, and we fell short. But now you look, Michigan State's coming in here. That's a really tough opponent. They took USC. They scored 31 against USC the other week. So I think it's an 8.5, started as like a 10-point spread. But we know these games, like a Big Ten game with Michigan State coming in here that likes to run the ball. They have a quarterback that might be picked in the first round in the future. Like this ain't going to be an 8-point spread. It ain't the way I'm looking at it.
Just going back to the point about, there's a lot of teams that are saying the same thing, like that are maybe a play or two away from having a different record. But it's what makes it exciting is, in the past, if you lost a game, you're out of that conversation. But now there's a lot of teams that are still absolutely a part of that, including Nebraska. If you keep taking care of business, everything's still on the table, as we talked about. It's also crazy too that Nebraska wasn't even playing, and yet there's still a lot of chatter on social media about Dylan and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how that affects Dylan, if at all. I mean, we're around him. We see him. We see how he prepares. We see how Coach talks about him and his process. I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's wavered him one bit. I think nationally, if he continues on this pace, he's going to be in the Heisman conversation. To me, he's somebody that in the beginning of the season, if he lived up to his capabilities with all the skill assets that they have around him, that he has every bit of the possibility of winning a Heisman. Now, this is me waving the scarlet and cream pom-poms, but from what I've seen from him, he's had just about mistake-free football. He's kept this offense on time, in rhythm, even when he's had rushers in his face like he did against Michigan. What was he, sacked 7 times? He threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was the first time in a while that Michigan defensively had given up a 300-yard passer for an opposing quarterback. So all these things are lining up. I mean, Dylan's getting set to have a special year. You could talk about Dylan Raiola, and he wears a headband, and he does this celebration, that celebration. I'll tell you this. He's on the path with what's ahead of him to have a very, very special year, one of the best quarterback seasons in Nebraska history.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where people say things because they know they're going to get a response out of Nebraska fans because they just are going to come to his defense. But you said it. We know him, and he's such a good guy and such a good person, and his family is wonderful. So it makes me madder than it probably does him.
And I think we talked about this before we went on. He can do a lot of the things Patrick Mahomes
There's not a lot of people that can. That's the thing, is like a lot of people can try to emulate Patrick Mahomes. They just wouldn't be able to. The fact that Dylan can do some of those things, to me, speaks more like, okay, you can be annoyed by it, but there just are not very many people that can do what Pat Mahomes can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than me when I'm a broadcaster. I mean, there's elements of what I do that try to sound like Iron Eagle, right? Because that's who I know. That's who I think is the greatest. And I'm sure he looks at it a similar way. The way Patrick Mahomes attacks a game or attacks a certain situation, he's friends with the guy. He can text Patrick Mahomes. There's that relationship there. And, of course, it didn't help him that the first game was at Arrowhead Stadium, so a lot of those blogs get written or whatever. I think more and more as we go and as he continues to have a great season, at least we hope, less of that conversation will be around what headband Dylan wears and how many touchdowns and how few interceptions he's thrown.
I wonder if some of the kind of hate from the outside is also coming to the fact that maybe people are less in on the Chiefs. If you're not a Chiefs fan, because when teams start winning a bunch, a lot of times you get annoyed or whatever. You're ready for somebody else to win, and it's been about the Chiefs. And if you aren't a Chiefs fan, you can get annoyed by it. Maybe it's also maybe some of that too, that people are out a little bit more. If you're not a Chiefs fan, they're not as mesmerized by Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot of people get bored, and a lot of people don't watch the games. I think there's a lot of casual fans that like to hop on trends and funny stories on social media, and then it gets picked up and it gets syndicated, and we stop talking about what matters.
Yeah.
And that's that this dude is elite. He's a baller. He's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. He's creating his own legacy. He came here when he could have went to Georgia or Ohio State, and he's trying to bring Nebraska a championship. Like, there's like the real story, and then there's the casual story of people that don't actually watch the games and they just obsess over silly blog storylines.
You're right, though. I mean, he's just quietly going about his business, though. But this is a college football season where there are a lot of really good quarterbacks, and the fact that he's right now through 4 or 5 weeks of the season right there among some of the best, it speaks volumes to me, because there are a lot of really good quarterbacks, and the fact that he's right there among some of the best is just proof that he is doing what he's supposed to do. And while it might not be as flashy, or I know sometimes people are like, well, where's the big play? But he's just doing his job and doing what's asked of him, and he's doing so very consistently and at a very high level.
Well, you look at some of the quarterbacks, Jess, that are some of the names that we thought coming in. Okay, who are the top tier guys in college football? That's the Garrett Nussmeyers. He's not had a good year at LSU. The Arch Mannings at Texas, he has not had a good year at Texas. The DJ Lagways of Florida, he has not been good this year. I think Big Ten has been pretty strong in quarterback play, but you look at the trio of names that I mentioned. Drew Aller at Penn State has not been better than Dylan Raiola. Dante Moore's been really good at Oregon. Julian Sain hasn't been asked to do a whole lot. I think he was good over the weekend against Washington. Has he outperformed Dylan? No. Bryce Underwood, we saw him here in Lincoln. Was he asked to do a whole lot in that offense? No. But he's very good, and he will be very good. I think it's a product of Dylan having all the tangible things, a 5-star recruit who had a full season of starts, 13 starts in his true freshman year, which doesn't happen, and now he's comfortable as a leader, as a player, as somebody who has command of this offense, and now you're seeing him, if all those names I mentioned, all the big names, nobody's really outperformed Dylan Raiola this year, but he gets hidden because people like to think of the old narrative of Nebraska's not ready to get over that hump because they've struggled for the last 10 or so years. But when I look at it factually and objectively, Dylan Raiola has been one of the best in the country.
You know who else has been really impressive is a guy that Nebraska defended pretty well. It's Brendan Sorsby.
Yes, he has looked good. I think he was the highest-rated PFF quarterback this past weekend at Kansas.
Yeah. So he's played well. And Coach Rhule, it was, what week was it that he just had astronomical numbers? And Coach Rhule really bragged on him. And then, there's the fact that Nebraska was able to do defensively against him. And he's gone, and we talked a lot about him going into that matchup, that this is a guy that's really impressive. And so he's gone on and has played really well since he's played in Nebraska.
I think we all had Kansas, did we not?
We did.
On the road?
We did.
So nobody had Cincinnati in that game, so nobody expected them to go in there and win that game, but Sorsby has been really good. And again, it goes back to that Cincinnati win. I think eventually will become a really, really nice notch on the resume for Nebraska when everybody thought maybe coming in that Cincinnati would be a 5-win, maybe not a bowl-eligible team. It's shown that that's not the case.
All right, let's get to a break. Coming up on the other side of this, we're going to hear from the head coach, Matt Rhule, met with the media today ahead of the matchup with Michigan State. Going to play a few clips from that. So we'll hear from the head coach, and we also have a special interview coming up in hour number 2. There's this competition that's underway right now that Nebraska won last year. It's the Abbott blood drive that Nebraska won $1 million to share amongst campus here. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit, give you some more information about that coming up in hour number 2. We have our weekend winners. So lots to come here, but coming up next, we'll hear from the head coach. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
Over the last few years, we've redefined what working remotely means, and so is the Ford F-150. Bring your desk wherever you go with an available flat interior work surface. Drop down the available tailgate work surface to get it all done. And plug in what you need outside the cab with available Pro Power on board. How's that for upping your productivity? Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Get F-150 for 0.9% plus $3,250 cash, or lease one for $499 a month and 0 down. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Redefine your luxury shopping experience at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Genesis GV 83.5 Turbo Prestiges and up to $4,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Genesis GV 82.5 Turbo models with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, with qualifying Conquest $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires September 30th, 2025. See dealer for details.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks, Camden Cohn, and Allie Check here with us as well. You might have seen her if you're watching on our YouTube channel. She was in the background, but
yeah, she's just chilling.
Yeah, well, you didn't scare her off, Kyle. That's good.
No, she last time she was here, she did an awesome ticker update, sports update.
Helped us
so
fill
we'll
the time.
Have to get her. Yeah, we did a full segment with her, talking some volleyball, and pretty soon we'll have her on talking about everything.
Yeah, she's set to do some interviews too, pregame. So stay tuned for that for some of the volleyball coverage coming up. But said it going into the break, though, we're going to hear from the head coach. He met with the media today, his weekly press conference leading into the matchup with Michigan State. And by the way, there's a lot going on this weekend. It's homecoming
week.
The Clydesdales are going to be here.
Yeah. Can you interview one of the Clydesdales, please, for pregame?
Sure, yeah.
If we can get
Sounds
that done,
great,
that'd be great. Just
no.
Thank you, Jess.
No.
Back with more after this.
Oh my! But so we'll have some updates on that too throughout this week. But let's hear from the head coach. Let's start with just what the Huskers are going to be facing and Michigan State quarterback Aiden Childs.
Well, they're a pro-style offense, and so he does all the pro-style things. He's truly playing quarterback. He's checking runs. He's going, outside zone to outside zone away. He's going, outside zone to naked or play action. He's going play action to play action away. So he's a thinking man's quarterback, which I respect. He's completing 70% of his passes, right? So he's taking what's there. He's protecting the football, and he is dynamic. He can run. We'll obviously see the quarterback draw and all the things that we've seen, so we'll have to be prepared to stop that. But it's also his ability to run behind the line of scrimmage when needed to and create plays. But an explosive player, one of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Yeah,
quarterbacks that have given Nebraska issues, the running quarterbacks that can extend plays, the Underwoods, the Sorsbys. You can put Aiden Childs in that mix, but he's been probably the most improved, and he's a guy that definitely does not get talked about enough because he plays for Michigan State. Because we tend to talk more about the Ohio States, the Michigans, even you throw Nebraska as a blue blood brand in there as well. But last year through 4 games, he had 7 interceptions. He has just 1 through 4 games this year. His completion percentage is up 14%. He truly is one of the more improved quarterbacks, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. He had a 4-touchdown game throwing through the air against Boston College. That was a 42-40 win. They have a lot of issues defensively. They have a lot of injuries, especially at linebacker. They're going to be without their left tackle, which is going to be a massive issue. Hello to Saul McCullough in a game like this, but it's going to force Aiden Childs to get out and run, which he can do. But interesting case. So he came over with Jonathan Smith, head coach of Oregon State, really did a good job. Coach Smith was an alum of Oregon State, went to a bowl game in 2023, really turned that program around and brought him along. And so they're coming off a 5-win season. Can they take that next step this year? I'm not sure because they have some injury issues, but Aiden Childs has taken the next step.
Also going to be a fun matchup for these defensive backs. They love this kind of challenge.
Very good wide receiving core. I think this is going to be the best group of wide receivers that Nebraska has played all year. I think Cincinnati's proven to be a little bit better than we thought. Michigan wasn't all that impressed with their wide receiving group. They didn't need to be. I mean, they ran the ball and had explosive plays out of that.
And really, -3 plays. It was a pretty solid defensive performance.
And top pass defense in the country for Nebraska for a reason. So that'll be tested. Amari Kelly, Nick Marsh, two names that really stand out for Michigan State. So they're good offensively. They'll test you.
You know what really stinks, though, for teams is going into that bye week. Searles talks about it all the time. A lot of the players that we talk to. It really stinks going into that bye week with a loss. You have to have that taste in your mouth for 2 weeks. You can't get back out there and ride it. But I know we heard Dylan Raiola talk about he didn't like having the bye week, but I know that those guys put in the work. I saw him up there last week. So Coach Rhule was asked today if the frustration from that loss to Michigan, if that served as motivation here over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no one cares about your feelings. I was frustrated. They're frustrated. Play better. That's the message. Just play better, practice better. It's just no one's coming to rescue you. There's a lot of really good teams out there that are frustrated after a loss. I watched a lot of really good football teams on Saturday, and teams that were behind came back and won. Teams that were ahead lost. Teams lost on 2-point conversions. Teams lost on a field goal. I mean, it's just the new age of football. There's a lot more parity. You lose the game, correct it, move on. So we've tried to correct it. We've tried to move on. I think good teams never let a game beat them twice. So that can sometimes be hard to do, but there's no time to wallow in self-pity.
It's an objective business when it's all said and done. How do you improve coming out of the bye week? Nobody outside of Lincoln cares that Nebraska lost. They're rooting for Nebraska to lose, right? So if you're Coach Rhule and you're these players, how do we objectively look at the tape? How do we continue to improve? Nobody's looking at this because you lost one game being a lost season of some sort, right? This is a huge month, as we all know. When you look at the schedule, Nebraska should be favored in every game here moving forward. Depending on what happens this week, maybe that changes when you go on the road to Minnesota, but you should be favored in every game in this month. How do you find a way to improve every single week, learn from the mistakes you had in the Michigan game and run fits and run defense and pass protection and all the things that were pretty glaring when you gave up 30 or so pressures to Dylan Raiola, when you gave up explosive plays on the ground that were the difference. You had mistakes all over the place, but you had some positives too. So how do you build on the positives, but how do you improve on the litany of negatives you had in that game?
One of those was the 7 sacks also that the offensive line gave up. I'm of the camp, though, that look, they'll be the first to admit they weren't good enough. They've got to be better. They've got to improve, but I do not think that was a true I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think that Michigan got to them. Michigan's a very good defensive front, and then I think they got to them a little bit, shook them a little bit, but I think that's going to be a motivated group coming out on Saturday. But what does the head coach have to say about the Husker offensive line?
They're a good group. They're a good offensive line, and they hit a bad day, and we didn't respond in the way. The interesting thing is I think we scored 17 of our points in the 2 minutes before the half. Now, obviously, one was a Hail Mary, but you still have to block people on a Hail Mary. And then the last drive of the game, right? And so when it was crucial time and it was like, hey, they're going to drop back and pass, like we were able to do it then. So, we're all going to get punched in the face. Some people whine about it. Some people cover up. Some people swing back. And so there were times where we swung back, but we didn't swing back nearly enough. And so they know what they need to do. That's a group of guys that love this university and love the football team and give everything they have. But we're going to face another big, powerful unit on both sides of the ball. Michigan State's offensive line and defensive line are going to come in here and try to push us around. And we have to be ready for that. So we went against each other last week, but now we got to go against another opponent, and so it's time that we we get punched in the face. We can't cover up. We got to come out swinging. I know they're going to come out swinging, so I'm expecting us to.
A bunch of veteran guys. If you remember what Rocco Spindler said in the offseason in one of his media availabilities coming into the year, is that we think we can win the Joe Moore Award for being the best offensive line in the country. So that tells me that there's an expectation, there's a confidence with that group up front. I think it has the horses. Like you said, they ran into a defensive front in Michigan, and especially one of the best edge rushers, I think, in the country, in Jayshon Barham, who's really been playing out of his mind in the last 2 weeks, and certainly in the game leading up to Nebraska. And they have a bunch of guys in that front seven that just played out of their mind here in Lincoln. But I think this is a group that's up to that challenge. You're telling me Teddy Prohaska, a fifth-year guy, is not up to that challenge? Gunnar Katula, who's been through a lot, and just, this is his redshirt sophomore season. A Lutowski, Evans, Spindler, who's played for a national championship. These are guys who are tested, have been through everything that a Big Ten season, and in Rocco's case, and just a lot of big games that he's played in, that they've had a lot of things thrown their way, and they have a Turner Corcoran, who's somebody who's been tested a lot in his career. So this is a good group of guys, just like Coach Rhule mentioned. And what I loved, after that game, they went back and they had a couple practices last week during the bye week where they really went at it.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday and Wednesday, full pads, and they just played football for about an hour and 15 minutes. So I think that's something that will help this offensive line is, look, forget about the past. Let's just move forward. And they had some physical days practice last week.
Yeah, they went to work. I mean, Coach Rhule had told me that they were gonna get some work done last week. I'll go back to what Rocco told me after the game on last Saturday about they started playing on their heels a little bit, and once they got punched in the mouth, and so I think they know what they did wrong. It's not like, all is lost. I think this group just didn't handle it as well. They had the rotation at left tackle, which Turner Corcoran never took off that 89 last week. So it was a rotation between Elijah Pritchett and Gunnar Gatula. The depth chart came out today. Again, it's Gunnar Gatula, then it's Turner Corcoran and Elijah Pritchett. That's one of the things I'll be watching for is how does Turner factor in if they need to make another swap, if they need to rotate there at left tackle.
I think Gunnar's going to be your guy to start, and I think they're just still going to try to give Elijah some chances to make it work. I mean, he is a high-priced guy. In this transfer portal world, there's some money that it took to get an Elijah Pritchett from Alabama to come here and be your left tackle, and everyone thought he was going to be the starter. I think they're still going to give him some opportunity if things go south. I think if Gunnar's playing well, they're not taking him out of the game.
Yeah.
But if there's some sort of way for Elijah to get in there where Gunnar's not playing well or he misses a block, I think you're still going to see somewhat of a rotation there as they try to figure it out.
Got a text on the text line that said, first of all, GBR, we beat ourselves. Michigan didn't beat us. Out of place defensively and poor tackling. Bring on Michigan State.
Do you know what I'm excited about to talk about anything beside the Michigan game? Because we've been doing it because it's a bye week. Naturally, we have to talk about it for 2 weeks now and leading up to the Michigan State game. I just want to have tape against another Big Ten opponent. Let's get this thing rolling. We're in bye weeks are over now. Like we're in I think we got one more later in the year, but we got a stretch where we're going one after another. So buckle in.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to text in or be a part of the show tonight. Going to step aside for a break. More of our number one of Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Quarren Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter agents Brent Rucco, Pete Vols, or George Florum in North Platte today.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and now joined. You like this song too?
This is Memories. Do we know the artist of this one, Allie? Dun, 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 Memories. Is this David Guetta?
Hey, what are you batting now? Like 300?
300. We had an issue with Matchbox 20 when we first started. I thought it was an Uncle Kracker song. It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, intern Allie Check. Big weekend for Husker volleyball too. They stay undefeated, another sweep. But hey, that second set got pushed a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It was a little scary there for a second, but I think sometimes we need that, and I know that the rest of the Big Ten is going to be super competitive too. So I think it was good for us to get tested a little bit, kind of within conference play. But yeah.
What were, I guess, some of the big takeaways then from Michigan and then Maryland opening up with the two teams there in Big Ten play?
You know, obviously we struggled in that second set, but I feel like we've been playing better volleyball, and I think the goal is obviously we want to be peaking at the right time, and I think we're kind of starting to get to that, okay, what is Nebraska? What does our solid volleyball look like? And so I feel like the past two matches have been a testament to kind of like what we've been doing in practice, like it's kind of coming out in matches, and so I think it's honestly been good the way that we've seen things transfer over, so I think just keep moving the needle, keep pushing the narrative, and I think it's going to get really good. It's going to keep getting good.
Do you guys, how long have you been thinking about this Penn State match? Just in the back of your mind.
Have you ever played at Penn State?
I never
have.
Okay,
so you haven't yet.
No.
What's the loudest venue you've played in?
Probably Texas.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty loud.
I think you're going to get some loud ones coming up.
That's what I've heard.
How does Devaney stack up to Texas?
I mean, it stacks up.
And
it gets loud.
Especially PBA, the first two matches you had, I mean, that was 15,000, right? So that probably's up there.
Yeah, I honestly would say the matches in PBA were probably the loudest I've ever played in.
Wow.
And I was talking to Troy last week, and he had talked to Danny about the thought is they're going to play one match every year moving forward. It's not set in stone yet, but one match every year that'll be in PBA. So if you like that experience, you're going to have that at least once a year moving forward.
What is that like as a player for people that aren't aware when you're used to playing in, say arenas like Devaney, but then the bigger arenas, the courts that you're bringing in that you aren't playing in? What is that like, the adjustments there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an adjustment just because it's louder in there. You can't really hear people, especially when the ball's moving. It's like, okay, everybody's got to be talking, everybody's got to be energetic, but it's hard to hear each other, even from like this far apart. So it's definitely a big adjustment. But honestly, as a player, it's really cool. Like, it's really cool to be able to walk in somewhere and realize that like all these people are rooting for you. Like, it's a pretty awesome feeling. Like, I remember my first match in Devaney, I like looked at Bergen because she's next to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane! Like, I'm gonna cry." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "This is crazy! Like, these many people are here to like support us." So I think it says a lot about Nebraska and the school spirit and like the pride behind it. And so I really think it's cool. But yeah.
My favorite thing about Nebraska, and it's become top of my list pretty quickly, is the training table. Over the last couple of weeks, it's been my favorite thing.
And I had to like talk him into going for like the first.
I'm there
2 or
every
3
day
weeks.
now. I'm there every day. The fact that they let me in there is kind of strange, but they let me in there. What's your go-to meal? Like game day training table?
Game day? Okay, well, to be fair, the training table does have like new stuff every day.
That's true.
But okay, so in Texas, they don't have like the walking tacos. I don't know, is that right? Is that how you say it? The like tacos with the like Doritos, and you can get like all kinds of stuff in the bag.
Oh, you bring your bag
I've never
of
had
chips?
those. Yeah, I've never had those in Texas. That's like not a thing. And so when I got here, everybody's like, "You don't know what that is?" And I'm like, "No." And so every time it's at the training table, I like freak out because it's so good.
They have those at the training table?
It rotates, like she said. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. You might not be on the email list, but they send out a weekly menu.
I need to be.
And
if you're out there, if whoever makes that email list.
So you know what's coming up. But like, I think I'm kind of getting in the mood for some soups. And we had some butternut squash soup the other day. It was like really, really good. They had tomato soup and grilled cheese the other day. I mean, they have the fresh salad bar every single day, which I usually get every single day.
Same. Okay, I didn't like it that much at the beginning, and now I like eat it all the time.
I know we're fully off the rails here, but the oatmeal.
Hey, people love food talk.
The oatmeal is probably the single greatest thing I've ever eaten.
Really?
The oatmeal with the cinnamon. I don't know what else they put in it, some sort of cream or milk, but the oatmeal is incredible. I'm just saying.
I'm not an oatmeal person, so I haven't tried it.
They have it every day, so if you want to make it your pregame routine, you can do that.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have to add it.
But they have the different types of, like, there's an Italian day, there's a Mexican food day, there's, a Thai day. There's, like, I mean, the noodles are so, I don't know. I just haven't had much bad.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if
I like it.
I can say I've had anything bad there.
Yeah, same. It's so good. And, like, just, like, coming here on my visit, I remember when I came to the training table, I was like, this place is so nice. And all the food is, like, actually really good. I was like, period. So, yeah.
Tell me about, so this team, it's probably cliche, but like, have you guys created an identity yet? Like, what's the identity of this team?
Well, so Danny talks a lot about putting a banner on the wall and not a name. And so I would say like that's probably our team identity. Like that's our goal. I mean, obviously our team is really stacked this year and you use different pieces at different times, like me included. Like we all go in and we all rotate out. And so I think it says a lot about our depth and our roster and like what we recruited and, what her and John like really spent time doing. And so I think like it goes to show like how Nebraska is obviously playing like the best people out there, but also the best people are still on the bench too. So it goes to say like a lot of people can contribute to the win. And I think that's kind of our deal of like putting the banner on the wall and not the name. We're not necessarily playing for like individual accolades or like attention. It's more so for like we're playing for Nebraska. Like it's a lot bigger. And I think it's really changed our perspective, I feel like, as a team of like, you know what, like regardless of what happens, Big Ten Player of the Week, whatever it is, like those things don't matter if we don't win at the end,
Yeah.
Like they're great and they're cool, but also like we want to win at the end. So I think right now, like I said, like we're pushing the needle every day and practicing getting better. And so it's like we're happy with the way we're trending. And so as long as we keep kind of moving up that ladder, like there's no reason we shouldn't win it.
I think it's fascinating too people might look at, there's a sweep and that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to get the win. But then you guys have like goals within each individual match. That's just how competitive this group is. You want to be challenged, you want to be pushed so that even when, you're looking at the end result, but within each set, each match, there's different goals that you guys are trying to hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I think that's, I mean, you guys embrace that, being pushed like that, right?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge for us because I think at the end of the day, like, obviously we're challenged by the people on the other side of the net, but I think every day in practice, the goal is to challenge each other harder than anyone else can. And so I think that speaks a lot to our depth too, of like every day we're going at it, like A side, B side, they don't look much different sometimes. And so I think that goes to show like that we're pushing each other as hard as we can in practice, but also with our goal setting. Like before matches, we're coming up with 3 goals, like, hey, we got to hit these goals. And it's not necessarily like a, oh my gosh, we didn't do it, but it's more of like a, like we're better than that. You know what I mean? So it's really trying to reach those goals every time. And when we can take those small victories and stack them, then we're making big changes. And that's kind of what we're doing now. And I feel like that's why we're trending upward.
Most competitive, I just want to know this. Most competitive person on the team, like you're playing a game of cards or like Monopoly, and who's got that like death stare in a competitive situation?
Rebecca Alec.
Yeah. That was going to be my guess. That was going to be my guess. Yeah.
Okay, so who's up? You talked to Skylar. You had some technical difficulties, but I know you have some plans. Who's up next that you're hoping to maybe talk to for pregame this week?
I want to talk to Campbell. I think it'd be really good to get some insight from a setter of just kind of like obviously going into these matches. And like, I mean, you're obviously the quarterback of the team. You run a lot of the offense, and I feel like she came in and did pretty well against Maryland. So I think just getting some insight from her of what that's looked like for her training, things like that, but also what she thinks like we've been doing well in practice and what she thinks will transfer over into this next game we have this week.
A lot of times you guys come in together too, and you have a cool relationship. It seems like you guys have a great connection.
Yes, I love her. She's awesome. Great player, but even better human. Like really solid, trying to grow in her faith. Like I love her, and I think she has been huge and is going to be huge for Nebraska.
We should maybe, obviously you do you, but like maybe we could do like a social media, like a poll of who Allie should interview.
Yes, I think so.
Who people want to like vote each week.
Yeah,
on who they want you to talk
and maybe
to.
like a fun question too, because I want to throw like a fun personality question in that's like so like not
off the wall.
Yes, so not on script.
Yes,
just because why not?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I think we need some questions too.
Okay, we'll put it out there.
We'll page the audience.
Okay, a question for both of you in the chat: have you had chili and cinnamon rolls and chili?
I have not.
Have you heard that it's a thing here?
Have you had a runza?
I have not had a runza. I know I probably get canceled for that one, but I've heard so much about it.
Kyle got a chicken sandwich his first trip to.
Oh my gosh!
It was the first place I went to was Runza when I got into town. It's my first year here, and I got a chicken sandwich. I didn't get a runza, and I've yet to make that up to the audience.
So Nebraska's known like it's kind of a thing. Camden could probably explain it more, but it's chili. You put cinnamon rolls in your chili. Like I don't eat red meat, so I've not had it.
Wait, cinnamon rolls and chili?
Yes,
that's crazy.
And it's
I've
like
never
a thing.
Heard of that.
So
people eat like donuts on buns for like hamburgers and stuff. I guess the sweet. And
I am. I'm all full of ideas. Maybe we could have a live taste test with you two with cinnamon roll and chili.
You're throwing a lot of food at me right now. If it's at the, I'll tell you this: if it's at the training table, I'll eat it because I've eaten everything there.
All right, guess if you're gonna do the ticker off the top of the next hour.
Yes, can't wait. Stay tuned.
Allie Check here with us on Sports Nightly. We're going to step aside for a break. Back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Drive into Fall event going on now. Lease the 2025 Jeep Compass Limited for just $299 per month with $0 down. Visit us in Blair or Bellevue to get started today. Woodhouse is your trusted Jeep dealer. 36 months per 10,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra for well-qualified returning lessees. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number C250538. Offer expires September 30th, 2025. See dealer for details.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. I do need to correct myself. I said it wrong. Kyle, you don't put the cinnamon roll in the chili. You just dip the cinnamon roll into the chili.
You can do whatever you like in the end.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been somebody who's done that before. Just put it in there and said, hey, maybe this works. Again, who's that first person that put those two things together?
I don't know.
There's a lot of weird things. You go to a state fair nowadays, there's some weird things that you'll see food-wise.
I showed sheep, so yes, I spent
You
a
what
lot
now?
of time at the fair.
Oh, you did what to sheep?
I showed sheep.
You showed sheep.
So it was like an FFA and 4-H.
So what was behind showing sheep? Like you just tell the sheep to come over here and like
Oh,
herd
you
them
have
in
to
an area?
brace and set them up, and the judge comes over and like feels and it's.
How many years ago was that? Showing sheep?
Oh, I mean, I did it all growing up. So it
Okay.
was- yeah, and it's still a thing. There was a lot of people around here that show sheep. So yeah, I was either in the gym or in the barn. But all that to be said is I had spent a lot of time at state fairs, so I do know about all the state fair food.
Nothing beats a good state fair. I haven't been to a state fair probably in however many years, like 2 decades, but they weren't that big in the Northeast when I was growing up. But a good state fair can change your life.
Dennis wants to know if we've had a kolache yet or intend to.
Excuse me? A kahoo?
Somebody just send send Kyle all the
I don't
Nebraska
know.
delicacies.
Just gonna have me eating everything under the sun here, so she'll set it up.
Okay, so just got a couple minutes left here, but did want to get this in before the break. The wrestling schedule has been announced, and there's some really great matchups coming here to Devaney. I had a chance to. I ran into AJ Ferrari at the training table, and he was loading up on some protein. But he messaged me this morning. I was trying to get him on Kyle's before. I think was that the week you got hired? He announced he was coming here?
Yes, yeah, it was because I remember listening to podcasts, and he was on one of them. Yeah.
So I tried to get him on, but it was like such a whirlwind. He was moving here, all that. Then we got, it became football season. But he said he'd come on, so he's looking at his schedule, and maybe we'll try to get him in here this week. But that was a question you got asked last week. How ready are you for some wrestling? And now we know the matchups. And of course, the Big Ten is not just a volleyball conference. It's known for its wrestling too. So it's going to be a fun slate. But opening up, the home opener is Friday, November 7th against Army. And then that weekend, December 19th and 21st, you got North Carolina and Oklahoma State. Cowboys are known for their rich history in wrestling. You open up at Minnesota, then you got Iowa at home, Ohio State at home, the January 23rd and 25th, and at Penn State, January 30th. But I did want to mention, too, they are going to have an open practice coming up this Saturday starting at 11 a.m. So we talked about all the things that are going on this weekend here. That's one of them. You can go check out wrestling and open practice on Saturday at 11 a.m. before coming over and going to the Cornhusker kickoff and all that good stuff.
I wonder if Coach Manning lets his athletes have the ice cream at the training table like he does.
I don't know. I told him, I'm so mad at you. You got me hooked on that. And so he said he gets one every day.
Ask AJ how many grams of protein he eats in a day, because I think I've heard a story where he eats like 8 steaks a day.
He had a ton of chicken breasts, I'll tell you that.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Oh, all right. Coming up, hour number 2, we'll talk some more Husker football. We've got a big competition going on with the blood drive that Nebraska is currently the reigning champions of. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. We also have our weekend winners, so keep it here. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. We didn't talk a whole lot of football, I guess, so we'll get into the Nebraska, Michigan State. You spent some time doing some charts, worked ahead a little bit, so we'll preview that a little bit coming up here in hour number 2. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Defend your network like a champ with Hamilton Business Technologies. From end zones to endpoints, our cybersecurity solutions keep your business and your data protected from online threats. We offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. You keep doing what you do best, and we will protect the rest. Hamilton Business Technologies, the official business IT partner of the Huskers. Visit us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Good evening. I'm Ali Check, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, Husker Wrestling released their schedule for the upcoming season. It features 11 of the top 25 finishers from last season's championships. The non-con is highlighted by home duels against North Carolina and Oklahoma State. The conference slate features home duels with Iowa and Ohio State and a road duel at Penn State. For the rest of the schedule and more information, visit Huskers.com. In other Husker news, Nebraska soccer fell this week with the upsetting loss on a low of 2 shots for the game. Sunday afternoon, they play Northwestern and are back at it. And finally, week 4 of the NFL season wraps up, and the Dolphins host the Jets this upcoming week. Currently, the Dolphins are ready for this season and be ready to watch on ESPN. And later tonight, the Bengals are on ABC, so be watching for that as well. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the Retirement Compass. Visit stonebridgei-w-m.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Husker Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 wide each way. Underwood out of the gun. Marshall, the running back right. Takes the wayside snap. 4-man twisting rush. Underwood under pressure. Ball's loose. It's picked up. Deshaun Singleton was in the area. Beanbags on the turf. They stripped it. Black shirts get it done and get the takeaway. Snap to Raiola. Rolls right. Looks downfield to the numbers. Raiola plants. Launches. Far right side of the end zone. Jump ball. Was it caught? Was it caught?
Unreal.
Touchdown! Huskers! Jakari Barney on a prayer! 52 yards! Line drive serve is in. Pass by Harper. Set middle. Rebecca for the match. She got it! Call the grandkid. Nebraska wins another in 5 over Creighton. The Big Red remains perfect. 9-0 in 2025.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Crypto King says, great job with the ticker. Wow, she is as good with ticker as she is playing volleyball. Allie's going to be a sideline reporter someday. That's the hope, right?
Yes, that's the hope. Thank you, guys.
Well, good job. I know you guys, you got a busy week this week, so we'll look forward to the next time you're in studio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
She even had like some technical difficulties on that and rolled with it. That's live radio.
She'll learn quickly that nothing ever goes the way that you want it to when that red light goes on.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. Thanks again for coming in tonight.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, Kyle, I did want to go back and talk some football because, you know, obviously we've talked about the improvements that need to be made with this team and where some areas of focus might be. The team's made no bones about it. They got to be better. What's maybe the one area that you're going to be the most interested in seeing how the Huskers come out and improve from in the matchup against Michigan?
Well, I think the biggest thing is continuing to see what Dylan has done. Is he going to be consistent in the fact that he's been somebody who just doesn't turn the ball over, high completion rate? He leads or he's near the top in completions per game, and he's 4th in the nation in completion percentage. So somebody who leads is near the top in the country in completion percentage. Maybe it's somebody who doesn't wing the ball around. Dylan's throwing the ball a decent amount this year within this offense. So I just want to see Dylan continue to be who he's been. I think the obvious things, one, are Michigan State's going to want to run the ball. They want to be physical at the line of scrimmage. How does Nebraska respond to what we saw a couple weeks ago against Michigan? I think everybody is eager to see how they're able to establish the line of scrimmage. I think what frustrated me the most against Michigan is you got them in 3rd and long. You consistently made plays on 1st and 2nd down. You remember that 16-play drive that churned up so much of the clock in the fourth quarter. Yep. How many of those were 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12 after you made plays on 1st and 2nd down?
Right. Well, and they were so good on 3rd downs up until that point. It was like that drive.
They started 0 of 6, Michigan on 3rd down.
Mm-hmm.
They were bad on 3rd down up until late in the game, but credit to them when it was time to make a play, they made a play. I think that left tackle spot? Or do you see some changes at the right tackle spot? Teddy Prohaska didn't have his best game against Michigan. I think both bookends of the offensive line of scrimmage. How do we see those tackles perform against another Big Ten front that necessarily isn't going to be as good as Michigan, but it still is a Big Ten front? And then we heard Coach Rhule said it in his at his podium today with the media that it feels like they have a good plan for the number 2 running back. I think maybe what does that mean? Does that mean how many carries does that mean for Mekhi Nelson? How many 2-back sets do we see? What is the role for Isaiah Mosey? How does that change or differ from what we saw from Michigan? Because I think they had a really good plan for how they utilized Mosey, especially in that first drive. We always say that he's sort of a Swiss Army knife in the amount that he can do, whether you line him up in the slot or you line him up in the backfield as a part of a 2-back system. So that's a lot of things to cover when you ask that question. But I think me and a lot of Nebraska fans, there's the highlights of what we want to see. Can we run the ball? Can we stop the run? Is Dylan going to continue to be who he's been?
I think, the big plays too, that just to me is just daunting when you look at the overall stats, and then you have those, 3 big touchdowns. And I know it is what it is, like it's part of the game, but if you just eliminate one of those, it's a completely different game. And I think we've seen this group give up some of those, and just seeing the interactions on the sidelines, can they fix some of those big plays? Because you're going to have to, you can't allow teams to have those big plays, especially when overall the effort is pretty solid, minus that last drive.
Yeah, it comes down to, one, you have to make plays at the line of scrimmage, but forcing your safeties and your cornerbacks to come up and make tackles. And we saw issues with that in the game against Michigan, where there were one-on-one opportunities where Michigan made tackles in the open field where Nebraska didn't. I can think of, and I'm not going to single anybody out. We're not here to necessarily do that, but there were multiple moments in my mind where I could think, well, a 1-yard gain turned into a 12-yard gain, or a complete whiff turned into a 75-yard touchdown. But there's a lot of things that lead up to, we think more about, okay, the missed tackle at the second level, but maybe the defensive lineman didn't do his job, or the linebacker didn't have a specific run fit and didn't do his job on that play. So there's a lot of people that could be at blame for any explosive play within. So all 3 levels of the defense, I think you got to improve in run defense, and this could be a legitimate test. Aiden Childs is a running quarterback. He's, he could sling it, and like we mentioned in the first hour, he's one of the more improved quarterbacks in the Big Ten. A couple of, they'll run a trio of backs, whether it's Mekhi Frazier, Brandon Tollis, Elijah Tolliver. Like they can rotate through some backs as well and keep some guys fresh. So I think for Michigan State, they got some issues in terms of their left tackle's not going to play. He's probably going to be out for the next month. So can Nebraska take advantage of that if they're able to get Michigan State in 3rd and longs and get after the quarterback?
I just fully believe, and I mean, you talked about this too, Michigan State has had some issues defensively, and I fully believe that this offensive line, that Coach Raiola is going to have them fired up, and they're going to be ready for a bounce-back performance. I fully, in my heart of hearts, believe that they're going to play really well.
I think because we see it every day, I think that's the expectation. We all think because you're at home, and you have to capitalize on games in conference that are in your stadium, because this is the end of a 4-game homestand. The Huskers are going to go on the road here for the next 2 games, and 2 really tough places to play. One, because Maryland, you're traveling all the way out east, and the team's going to leave a day early, and then Minnesota, you're playing at 3:30 on a Saturday in that Maryland game, and then you come back and you're all of a sudden in a short week because you're playing Friday night against Minnesota. It's going to get really tough. It's hard to win games, and it's really, really hard to win conference games on the road. That's why you have to take advantage of these opportunities at home, especially everything that's going on with homecoming. It should be a really good crowd, and obviously another sellout crowd, and you need to use that to your advantage.
Text on the text line said, when you get a hard rush like Michigan did and Dylan was getting sacked, draw a tight end across the middle for a 5-yard drop pass. We did see Heinrich Harburg get involved a lot more. Luke Lindenmeyer had a great day, but I think those guys are going to continue to be an option here in this offense. I think Luke Lindemeyer's I know he's had a career season already. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's already surpassed his production from what we've seen previous. He's in his redshirt junior year, but Lindemeyer's been great. I think we've seen Heinrich become more a part of the offense. He had his first career receiving touchdown. Carter Nelson
continues to be somebody that I think we're waiting to see more from. We've seen him a little bit in the slot, not necessarily as a traditional tight end, but can he eventually play more snaps and can he factor in to this offense? There's a lot of questions because we're not even in October yet. So there's a lot of teams that we saw the parity and how many teams are losing, and teams that are 6-point favorites and 7-point favorites being taken down to the wire. So there's a lot of questions, not just here at Nebraska, but all throughout the country where we don't know what teams are yet. And we probably won't know until November.
Yeah, there's still so much to learn. And look, everybody's trying to figure out what they do well and how they can adjust and the game of chess. And so we heard Coach Rhule say that, I think, last week at his press conference, like some of those guys, we got to get them going. We want to see more of Carter Nelson. So how does Dana Holgorsen maybe start to utilize some of those guys as well? Carol on the text line said, reflecting back on Husker football wars for 2025, the things that jump out to me: holes in the run defense, inability for the offense to punch in touchdowns while in the red zone. Yes, that's definitely got to improve, right? And how many times have we come up short there? And then the number of sacks, which creeped up against Michigan. Yeah,
Nebraska has a 58% touchdown conversion rate in the red zone. That's not good. In terms of red zone offense, they've scored 79% of the time. That's 17th in the Big Ten. You have to have a much better conversion rate when you get inside the 20, and you can't settle for field goals. And this is an aggressive team. We saw it early in that, was it the first drive against Michigan, where you go for the shovel pass with Luke Lindenmeyer, and you elect to go for it on 4th and 2 instead of taking the points. Hindsight 2020, you can say, oh, you got to take the points against a team like Michigan. Like, no, you want to set the standard that we're going to punch you in the mouth, and it didn't work that time, but this is an offense that has to be much better, not just inside the 20s, but inside the 10. Yeah. I think there's been 4 or so empty trips when they've gotten inside the 10. And
it wasn't just against Michigan. I mean, you can point back to even the games, what was it?
Akron,
and then Houston Christian? The 2-minute warning, they talked about that, and then even against Cincinnati, they've left some points on the board that you have this drive, especially that first drive, opening drive against Michigan. You have such a great drive to get yourself in a position to score, and then you don't capitalize. I mean, that's frustrating, and you got to figure out a way to put points on the board there.
I think the good thing that we haven't talked about a lot, because 2 of those opponents are what they are, Akron and Houston Christian, knock on wood here, but Coach Rhule has brought this up a lot, that Nebraska has not had a positive turnover margin since 2016. As a program. So far coming into this week, they're +4 in the takeaway giveaway ratio. What does that look like when you get through October and you get through some of these road games and the weather isn't that great on the road? What does that turnover number look like? Can Nebraska finally be plus in the turnover margin when it's all said and done this year?
Appreciate the text, Carol, and all the folks that chimed in hour number 1. So we do this thing on social media, too, where we pick early in the week our player to watch for the week. And last week I went in really quickly, then you guys beat me to the punch. But you had...
Last week?
No, this week.
Oh, I had Dane Key.
You have Dane Key. And I think...
Damon had Isaiah Hunter.
Yeah, so y'all basically flipped, right? No. You had Isaiah Hunter last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm like the kiss of death for a lot of these picks, because every time I pick somebody, just like my college football picks, it doesn't go well. So Dane, I'm sorry, man.
You should just pick somebody that's like redshirting this year.
Every week.
I haven't been bad in mine.
Have you picked yet?
No, I think I'm going to go somebody on defense. I'm going to think about it. Maybe McCullough. I don't know.
That was Damon's pick
last week. Yeah.
And he got a sack, right? Deshaun.
Yeah, and I think he almost had one and then ended up getting one. But
Deshaun's had a great year, by the way.
Yeah.
Vincent Shavers had a really good game against Michigan, but Deshaun McCullough, I mean, he's in a prove-it year. He wants to play at the next level. He's proven it so far. He's been really good, and I think he's set to have a big week this week.
I think the guys that I pick, it's always the next week they do well. So I had Heinrich Harburg, I think, against Houston Christian, and then he had a good game last week. I had Ja'Cory Barney the week before he went off, had the career day. So I think it's like I pick them, and then the next week they do well.
So your future forecasting is what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'll try to be better this week. But I think I've picked offense every week. I think you have too. Damon switched it up, but I think I might try to find somebody on defense this week.
So you were waiting for us to make our picks. You're posturing. You're researching.
No, you guys beat me to it this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no method to the madness there.
No, I think we just all try to beat each other to it. Because Damon was the first one this week, but I was the first one last week, and then I think you beat us.
You took Emmett.
Yeah.
Which is like a cheat code. Although Emmett didn't have.
You could say the same thing about Dane Key.
No. Emmett's going to touch the ball.
Dane Key has had a touchdown
snap.
every single game.
Except for one.
Yeah, except for last week. But the 3 weeks leading up to it. Like, that Dane Key's going to be. Like, to me, that's also a cheat code.
Sure, I'll play along.
Okay. All right, let's get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear about the Give Blood Drive that Nebraska won last year, but currently trailing to Wisconsin. So we'll have more information about that, how you can get involved, and also a competition going on this week against Michigan State. So we'll have more information on that coming up next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Game-changing technology is just a phone call away. When your office technology isn't playing nice and you need expert help, give Hamilton Business Technologies a shout. We are the official business IT partner of the Huskers, and we are your partner for IT support. From on-site or remote managed IT services to business phone systems and proactive cybersecurity solutions, Nebraska businesses trust us when they need expert help. When your technology playbook needs a rewrite, think of Hamilton Business Technologies and visit us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
See Shelter Agent John Austin in Fairbury, Rhonda Miller in Alliance, or Stephanie Culver in Holdridge today.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and joined by a couple of very special guests tonight here on the show, because there is a big-time competition going on right now that Nebraska is currently the reigning champions of. And to tell us a little bit more about it and how you can get involved here this year is Ellen Wickman. She's works with Abbott, our great partners at Abbott, and is also a Nebraska alum. And then Libby Wilkins, who's a student body president and a student regent. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Ellen, let's start with you. Just tell us about the We Give Blood drive. What is it and what is at stake?
Yeah, I would love to. So the We Give Blood drive is really working to help tackle some critical blood shortages across the country. And my company, Abbott, global healthcare company, partnered with the Big Ten Conference to do that. The We Give Blood drive is a competition among all 18 Big Ten schools to see who can get the most students, alumni, and fans across the country to donate the most blood and help address this shortage. There's a $1 million prize at stake from Abbott for the school that does inspire the most blood donations across the country. And, you know, it's particularly important across the country, but also in Nebraska. I mean, the Nebraska Community Blood Bank just last month declared an emergency blood shortage in the state and in Western Iowa. So, you know, this is definitely something that's really impactful at home too in Nebraska.
And again, Nebraska won this competition last year. And in fact, I think we pretty much led wire to wire from start to finish. But Libby, how is the school using the money and how are we looking this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our Office of Student Life has developed several different avenues to use that $1 million. So it's going towards research for faculty, some types of student wellness events through Student Life, and also grants for our clubs and organizations on campus to promote student health, physical, mental, emotional health across campus. So this $1 million is a really big deal, which is why ASUN, our student government, along with Abbott and other groups, are really promoting and pushing this blood drive. Also because we want to beat Wisconsin, but because this $1 million is a huge deal for us.
Okay, so Ellen, tell us a little bit more about just the overall impact that this competition can have.
Yeah, I mean, the impact of this competition is huge. Last year, for perspective, you know, we inspired 20,000 blood donations, and people may not realize, like, each blood donation saves up to 3 lives. So every time you show up and donate a pint of blood, you know, the different components of blood are saving up to 3 people. So that was huge. We saved nearly 60,000 lives with blood donations last year. This year, just a quarter of the way through the competition, we've already far surpassed the total that we had last year. So that's been really cool to see. We've saved more than 75,000 lives so far. So it's truly life-saving, right? There is no alternative to blood. You know, when someone needs blood after a surgery, after childbirth, you know, during cancer treatments, whatever it is, there's no alternative. You have to receive a pint of blood from someone who donated it. So I think people sometimes forget how impactful this is, but the impact is truly life-saving, and it costs you an hour of your time and a pint of your blood, and it's amazing that you could be a hero with just that simple act.
All right, Libby, what's it going to take for Nebraska to go back-to-back and win this thing again?
Yeah, right now we're rallying students around the ASUN blood drives that's happening this week. And, you know, we've gotten statistics over the past year that it's really important for students to give blood. That was the lowest percentage last year during the competition. Just recently, I was able to meet with some student leaders across campus and engage them and engage the audience to continue to give blood. Really, a lot of it is bringing it to the students, which is what we're doing this week during homecoming.
And listen, this is anybody across the state of Nebraska, right? Ellen can get involved in this, and it's really easy to be able to log that point for Nebraska. And anywhere you can give blood, right? You can be a part of this competition.
That's right. I mean, it's even bigger than just the state of Nebraska. If you're an alum in a different state, you can absolutely donate blood anywhere in the United States. And then you just have to log that donation either on the website, big10.org/Abbott, or this year you can text to donate to 222688 and follow the prompts that way to make sure that your blood donation counts for Nebraska. So anyone can donate blood anywhere in the country, anytime before December 5th, and log the donation for Nebraska to help them win.
And it's not the only competition that we're involved in. This week in particular, there's also one against Michigan State. Can you tell us about that?
That's right. So each week there's a different weekly one-up challenge, sort of a competition within a competition. For the homecoming game this week, we're going head-to-head with Michigan State. If you look on social media, you'll see a fun video with Matt Rhule. But we are trying to basically get more blood donations than them. And so far we are. So hopefully we'll keep it up. And then if Nebraska wins that one-up challenge, one lucky winner will be raffled to win a VIP experience that'll be announced when we win. So that is another incentive to get out and donate blood this week in particular.
And Libby, what does it mean to you guys as students to be the winners of this competition last year and hopefully maybe win this week against Michigan State, but maybe make a push to win it again this year? How much pride do you guys take in that as a student body?
Yeah, so much. I think it just shows that Nebraskans show up and Nebraskans care. As a native Nebraskan, I've seen that through several different avenues. But as a student body, I think that specifically last week, my rally to the student leaders was we cannot let the Wisconsin Badgers outdo us. So what we're going to do this week is really rally and get our friends to come and show up and donate blood.
Awesome. All right, Ellen, one more time, remind folks so it's big10.org/Abbott, or you can text, what's that number one more time?
Yeah, it's 222-688. You can text donate to that number, follow the prompts to log the donation. And I want people to know too, I mean, we're in second place out of 18 and we're just behind Wisconsin. So your donation will matter if you get out there and donate blood for Nebraska. So hopefully we'll see lots of people doing that. And again, it's big10.org/Abbott or text donate to 222-688.
Any final thoughts? Did we miss anything? Ellen?
Let's rally. Let's beat Wisconsin. Let's get it done. Nebraskans know how to. So I'm excited to see people show up.
I love it. Okay, one more time. big10.org/Abbott, ABBOTT, for more information on how you can get involved in this. Thanks again, Ellen Wickman and Libby Wilkins, for joining us here on Sports Nightly. And we'll look forward to a push from Nebraska and hopefully a follow-up and a check-in. Maybe we'll take the lead here coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Sounds great.
Thank you both for being here with us. We got to step aside for a break. More of the show coming up right after this.
Adventure has its own style. It's made of tall trees, unpaved trails, and at the center, the most capable Subaru Forester yet, the 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness. It comes with 9.2 inches of ground clearance paired with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and advanced dual-function X mode. Discover adventure on a deeper level. The 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness. Visit Duto Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at dutosubaru.com. Duto Subaru, driven by you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Over the last few years, we've redefined what working remotely means, and so is the Ford F-150. Bring your desk wherever you go with an available flat interior work surface. Drop down the available tailgate work surface to get it all done, and plug in what you need outside the cab with available Pro Power on board. How's that for upping your productivity? Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Get F-150 for 0.9% plus $3,250 cash, or lease one for $499 a month and zero down. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Defend your network like a champ with Hamilton Business Technologies. From end zones to endpoints, our cybersecurity solutions keep your business and your data protected from online threats. We offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. You keep doing what you do best, and we will protect the rest. Hamilton Business Technologies, the official business IT partner of the Huskers. Visit us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs.
Welcome to Miami.
For every field as Miami's playing football. Are you going to drop some more beats for us and lines?
That's all I know of that song.
Party in the city where the heat is on.
Oh, okay. All right. It's Will Smith. Will Smith, right?
Yes.
He had a nice little time as a rapper. Probably a little better actor.
DJ Camden over there dropping some beats.
He's got some good ones today.
Monday night show. Okay, back to the text line. Dennis said, Jessica Kyle, choice of one. Scoring a touchdown inside the 10-yard line or the defense stopping a 3rd and long, since Nebraska can do neither on the opening drive. I'll argue with you. The defense did force a 3-and-out in the opening drive last week.
Yeah, they had some good moments.
It was the last drive that they didn't, the Michigan scoring drive that made it 2 scores, right? That they couldn't get off the field.
Yeah, 16-play drive that eventually led to a field goal, if my memory serves correct. But that's the drive that haunts Husker fans. Look, it's a long season. Get those. We know what has to be worked out, and those are 2 things that have to be worked out.
So let's quickly just dive into the things that are happening. We talked earlier about the open wrestling practice, but there's homecoming. We've got the Cornhusker kickoff again. And, every week at the Cornhusker kickoff, they have a different team signing autographs, have a band playing. So we were told today that the softball team is going to be out there signing autographs on Saturday. So that's a fun team to go get your poster signed or whatever, your gloves, your softballs, whatever.
Headset.
You gonna?
Can I get in line?
I was about to say, I feel like that's a sport you might be first in line for.
Yeah, I mean, I love softball, and I look forward to getting out to some of the games when it gets a little warmer. I'll listen to Nate on the radio, and when it's cold and those early months of the season. Once it gets warmer, I'll be out at the stadium watching some games.
Yeah, it should be a fun team. Okay, and I know Coach Rhule, we talked about this. They've been killing it on the recruiting trail. They've had recruits in, some top recruits in over the last few weeks for home football games, and so they've got a lot of momentum there too. The Fillmore is the band that's playing. They opened up for, who was the artist that they opened up for? Pitbull.
According to Brandon Meyer. Who didn't know who Pitbull was. It took him a while to think of Pitbull's name. He said the bald guy from Miami.
And people knew right away.
Mr. 305 to you, Brandon Meyer.
And then the Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales are also going to be there too. And if you want to be there and see the Clydesdales, they're going to take a trot around the stadium, the East Stadium loop, and you should be there around 1 o'clock if you want to see that.
I want to see the Clydesdales. I don't think I'll get to, though.
Yeah.
Because I'll be on the air at that point. But that's cool. It's right after Legacy Walk, and you can see the Clydesdales. I guess they go around the country, and you can see them at different sporting events. And but that'll be really interesting, unique.
Yeah. So, I wonder if they're going to bring, they always are pretty top notch in the Super Bowl commercials. And one of those are when they have, the Golden Retriever that's a part of it. Like, I wonder if they'll have the Golden Retriever here too.
Remember the old Budweiser? You said Super Bowl commercials. So remember the old Budweiser? Was it like the frogs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
There's a lot of
that.
great. We don't talk a lot about Super Bowl commercials anymore. I feel like we did more when I was a kid. Now social media, everyone has an opinion about everything, but I feel like there's not a lot of, it's not a big deal anymore.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm making that up.
It's probably not as big of a deal, but it's still, I think, some of it gets leaked out on social media before it airs, and I don't know. I still enjoy kind of tuning in for that, but
I think a lot of people are at parties too, so if you're at a party, right, you're not sitting around and you're not silent. You need to be at a place where you can actually sit and listen to the commercials. For me, a big game like a Super Bowl, I know this, like the Yankees are playing the Red Sox tomorrow. We're looking at the wild card games are up on our TV, and that's a massive 3-game wild card series. Like, I can't sit at a bar with a crowd and watch a big game. Like, I need to be able to hear the commentary. I need to be locked in. So that's the same way I'm with the Super Bowl. I can't be at like a big get-together for a big game.
Okay, so the last thing I want to make sure and pass along, the balloons are going to be back again. What did you think of the balloons?
Some people let them loose on the field goal early going. It's got to be the first touchdown, right, for the red balloon.
I thought it was the first score. Oh, well.
So there's some back and forth.
Listen, it was kind of, I know they brought it back a couple different times, but it hasn't been, since I've been here, they took it away that season. So it's just been, it hadn't been every single home game. So
it's good to have it back.
Yes.
It's good to see that for the first time. I think.
Did you see the floating, what was it? Budweiser, actually? Was it the floating Budweiser cans?
Yes, somebody tied it to the can and watched it float away.
Yeah.
I saw that image recreated through AI too. It was very interesting. Very great piece of art.
Maybe you could print that off or get that and put it in the booth.
Yeah, sure. We could do whatever. I shouldn't be in charge of decorating anything. We know that.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, well, that's hurtful.
I don't know what's worse, your decorating skills or your football picking skills.
I don't think I've decorated anything yet. So I don't have any skills when it comes to decorating because I just haven't even tried. My football picking skills I've tried, and it's gotten worse every week. We're trending in an awful direction when it comes to these college football picks.
It's early. It's what you've been saying. It's early. You got time to turn it around.
And again,
unfortunately, though, for you, Florida's back on the picks again this week.
Josh, he's supposed to be a friend. He's a friend. He's a good guy, and he continues to put them because of their schedule and how brutal it is. Yeah. They're playing a game on prime time every single week, and they're playing Texas this week. They're at home, and it's an interesting pick. I'm mulling it over.
I feel like we know what you're going to do, but we'll see.
You don't know anything. I know what I'm going to do, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, so that's coming up later in the week. Did you watch any of the Ryder Cup?
I watched some of it. I saw Rory's back and forth with the fans. I mean, I was really locked in on the football side of things, so I didn't get to. I wasn't really locked in on the Ryder Cup, but I saw it's become this massive thing now about how dare we as a society rip golfers and things like that. You would know better if it was over the top in terms of the way the crowd and the patrons were acting towards Rory and the Europeans and all that stuff.
I don't know. I think it's kind of part of it. And so Saturday was disappointing. Opened up on Friday. We talked to my dad. He was there, and disappointing, I think, start. And then if you get behind the 8 ball in the Ryder Cup, it's just so hard. And I think we learned that the United States have got to be better playing the paired golf. They put up a fight yesterday, made it exciting down the stretch. Had to end up closing out the last 5 matches to win it, but they were in such a hole. But at least they played well and made it fun. But the Europeans came in ready to roll, and I think some of the guys were like fired up by it. That for Team Europe, they were like fueled by that. It's always so interesting talking to players and athletes over the course of my career on who are really for me as a player, I did not like the negativity, right? Like I would have preferred a home crowd, but there are some players that are absolutely fueled by the negativity, and they like thrive in it. Baker Mayfield was one of those guys that just he probably liked playing on the road more than he did at home. I think there's certain players are wired differently, and there were some golfers I think that were absolutely fueled by the hostility. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of part of it. It was New York. I don't know if they played the Ryder Cup in Nebraska, it wouldn't be as mean. You know?
I think New York was trying hard to keep up the reputation of what we thought it was going to be. It was going to be a hostile, super hostile towards the Europeans, and especially Rory McIlroy. There was a clip that came out right before it started, and it was pretty funny. It was, Rory was buttoning the top button of one of his polos, and the fan said, "You don't need to button the top button to choke, Rory," and like got a big laugh early on, and that's the fun stuff, right? But like when people start going after Rory's family and yelling at his wife, and like that's the stuff that gets a little weird.
I think was it Shane Lowry that every time he hit, they were yelling Teletubby and stuff like that. But I don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah,
as long as like. Where I draw the line is family and like that type of stuff.
I'll tell you,
that out of it.
I've been to multiple PGA events that Rory is so slow to like if you get with his, gallery of people or whatever. I mean, he takes forever to putt. So I thought it was funny that they were counting down how long it took him to putt. But it was still. Look, I'm glad that they put up a fight and made it interesting yesterday because it was just so frustrating on Saturday and Friday, and even it wasn't like Saturday they were playing as bad. It just Europe was playing out of their minds. But I think we learned that 1-on-1 Team USA's solid, but it was the pairings and just didn't live up to it. But hopefully, so Europe retains the cup, and now we got to wait 2 years for one of my favorite sporting events and back on Europe soil.
So are you all good now with your dad, considering he went to the Ryder Cup and didn't bring you along?
Yeah.
Have you had those
good.
Conversations?
They're coming up this week, so I haven't seen them since July.
It's exciting.
So I think it's the longest in my entire life that I haven't seen my parents. So they're coming up. They're going to go to the game on Saturday. So
you got them the VIP seats?
Nope, they have to get their own tickets. You got to you got to fend for yourself. I can't escort. I'm kind of busy on a game day.
You are.
Art in Los Angeles said Jessica Kyle might not be good at decorating or picking games, but when it comes to calling games, there's no better. GBR.
Art's my guy.
Art's
always been my number one fan. One of these days we'll meet and shake hands and. I agree. I'm terrible at everything else, and some people think I'm terrible at the other thing too. But I'm grateful for your support, Art.
It was funny you were talking today that I won't say what for, but that you got into a situation where you're like, football. Let's talk football.
Yes, I just people trying to talk to me about other things nowadays, and I'm just like, I know nothing but football. Football. Tell me what the Huskers are going to do in their rush defense. That's about all I got right now in my mind.
Roger wants to know if you have gotten an abundance of Herbie Husker gear yet.
No. I'll tell you this. Our guy Al at Adidas hooked me up in a big way. A lot of the stuff that I've gotten has been through him, and he's been great, and I asked for a lot of T-shirts and things. But no Herbie stuff yet. And every time I see somebody wearing I saw somebody wearing like the flip-flops today.
The slides, yeah.
Yeah, the slides, and they had the Herbie logo on them, and I'm like, those are sweet.
I think the players got that earlier in the summer, and they were all wearing them, and I complimented. Like, I think those are pretty sweet too.
I just think it's such a great logo.
Yeah.
I just think the old school. I think the current logo is awesome, and that looks great. But the Herbie stuff, maybe there's a football alternate down the line. They don't ask my opinion, nor should they. Where it has a Herbie attachment. There's some sort of Herbie affiliation with the football uniform down the line. Some sort of alternate.
You've made it clear though you're more Herbie over Little Red.
Yeah, I'm a Herbie guy.
My mom is obsessed with Little Red.
Little Red's cool too.
She took a photo of him and printed it off, and he's in her laundry room.
Just staring. Just printed
She's
off
like,
a
how
picture.
can you not see Little Red and not like have a good day? So
Little Red's. I met Lil Red at volleyball. Mm-hmm. We had a like a moment where he, like a dap. Good. It was clean.
Yeah.
Clean dap moment. That was cool. So we had our moment.
Yeah.
I have not met Herbie yet. So maybe I Little Red's give me a handshake, so maybe I like Little Red better.
My mom, when they came, they were here for when Danny Busman Kelly was introduced as the head coach, and I had a live Q&A, and then afterwards, my mom, I was like, Mom, there's Little Red. And so she went up to him and was like, I said, Little Red, this is your biggest fan. And Herbie was just standing over there like sad. I'm like, and my mom's like, Herbie, I like you too, but she's definitely Team Little Red. So.
I need that Herbie gear though.
Yeah.
I need it.
It's pretty sweet. I told you that I heard from some of the orders for a store that Herbie is like all the rage, all the trend right now.
Everybody loves it.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's get to a break. Coming up on the other side of this, we'll have our weekend winners. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed-enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore enlist corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Monday night edition, which calls for our weekend winners. Camden, you want to go first?
Sure.
I should have gone first. You can go first.
You can go first. Go ahead.
Okay. Give it up for Husker Rifle. They opened up the season over the weekend, and it was a record-breaking performance to open up the season. They ranked number 11 in the country, took down number 12, Ohio State. But they had the second highest aggregate score in program history and had the top air rifle score in program history. So already, like, opening weekend, setting program records. And so I had a chance to chat with the head coach there, and he knew Richard Clark. I'm spaced there. Richard Clark at an event, and he's impressive. And I think this program is another one of those ones that they're going to produce probably athletes that are going to be able to compete for the Olympics. And then also, I think this is a team that, just like they are every year, going to be in that final conversation to compete for national titles. So, but Kyle, did you know that with rifle, it's co-ed, but Nebraska is one of the few programs that is usually in the final 8 that is an all-female program.
I did not know that.
There you go.
It's exciting. I've seen some of the athletes at the training table with the rifle shirts on.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
pretty cool.
All right, Camden, you ready?
I'm ready now.
Okay.
We're good. I'm going to go with MLB baseball news. The national TV ratings rose by double digits in 2025. So ESPN does Sunday Night Baseball, average 1.8 million views for the regular season coverage this year. That's up 21%. Fox averaged 2.04 million views, so up 9%. TNT was up 29%, and MLB Network was up 13%. So as they wrap up their regular season, well, I guess regular season's over now, but and get ready for postseason play, hopefully those numbers can keep up.
It's good for baseball because it was bad for a while.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a regional sport, though.
Yeah.
It's a sport that you tune in on your regional network. You're not necessarily so enchanted in the national picture, and maybe that'll change. We'll see what the playoff numbers are like. But my weekend winner it's not a party, it's a darty. Jackson Dart, in his first NFL start, beating the Chargers, and the Giants in desperate need of a win. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors went down with an ACL. He's out for the year. So even in a win, the Giants take an L. But Jackson Dart takes a W, 13 of 20, so not anything that really pops off the page, but had a rushing touchdown, I think, on the first Giant drive. Congratulations.
And he went
Jackson
viral
Dart.
on his celebration.
Yes, TikTok.
His touchdown dance.
Celebration for him, and Giant fans can use it because they have not had a winner in quite some time since Eli Manning roamed the halls there.
I think this is the first week since we started this in the fall that you haven't done anything with the Colts.
Well, unfortunately, somebody was screaming in their apartment yesterday, and it was me. Adonai Mitchell, who's a good player, and he had a rough day, so he pulled the old Deshaun Jackson when you run across the goal line and you drop the ball before you cross the goal line, and then it slipped out of his hands, rolled to the back of the end zone. So that was 6 points taken off the board, and then Jonathan Taylor had a long touchdown run that was called back because of his holding call. So he was responsible for 14 points taken off the board. They should have had a 2-possession lead, should have beat the Rams on the road, should have went to 4-0. Instead, they lose 27-20, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
They're still a good team.
Still Super Bowl bound.
As far as I'm concerned, I have not changed my tune. I'm a positive guy. I don't know if you know this.
You're a positive Polly, not a negative Nancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say that.
Okay, so coming up tomorrow night on the show, we will have our weekly volleyball show with John Baylor, Danny Busboom, Kelly. If you want to send in your questions on the text line, 402-413-2400. They also make a post every week on social media that I know John Baylor looks at and tries to pass along those questions for DBK. So that will be in the 6 o'clock hour. Back to availability. So Matt Rhule met with the media today, but we'll be back to hearing from coordinators and players tomorrow as well. They got the week off last week. And football show coming up on Wednesday in the 6 o'clock hour. And you're going to have the OC, Dana Holgerson, here. That should be entertaining.
Yeah, you can text in some of your questions for Wednesday, because that'll be an interesting one. We should have a player conversation there too, but he's somebody a lot of people want to hear from. He's done a great job here, and he's going to be an interesting conversation, I think.
So we'll have the dig tomorrow as well. I'm going to have Jalen Reyes back this week, so we'll have be able to post that for you. And then I don't know with Searles. He was asked earlier. Someone asked if he got his elk. I actually don't know. Like when he goes hunting, he goes completely off the grid. So I tried to get him on today, but I don't think he's going to be able to come on until Wednesday. But we will have Searles back in our weekly rotation as well.
It's fitting, isn't it? Kind of ironic. The week he goes 3 of 7 in his picks, he goes off the grid. Sure, I'll play along.
I mean, none of us can really brag other than Josh about
We were all terrible besides Josh.
I got off to a great start. I was like, oh boy, this is my week. And then tanked the last half of the game.
On Friday night, when I saw TCU blow, I think, a 17-point lead, and that was one where we were sort of split.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be awful. And I was 0 of my first 5.
Yeah, you started out 0 for 5.
Ugh.
Oh.
Do I have to do picks
Are you
anymore?
quitting again?
I quit.
You'll give it a couple days, you'll be back wanting to compete again.
Probably.
It's not like it's out of reach. There's been bigger comebacks happen.
Have you seen me pick games this year? It's getting there. It's getting there.
Comeback's on the way. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Camden. Josh helping us out earlier. Kyle Crooks, I'm Jessica Coody. We'll be back again. Full 2 hours of Sports Nightly coming up tomorrow night with our weekly volleyball show with John Baylor and Danny Busboom, Kelly in that 6 o'clock hour. Have a great night, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co